Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 220. Nothing in your business is set and forget.
Nope, not a thing. We actually have been sitting here for 5 or so minutes trying to think about what things in your business could be set and forget. And it was a real struggle, right? Like, thought, okay, well, maybe you could come up with your business name and register it, and that's set and forget. But even that's not really, like, not forever.
Maybe not. Like, imagine if you had virtual assistant in your name, but then you no longer were a virtual assistant and you pivoted to some other specialty service.
Yeah.
Then maybe you do need to change your name. So actually, we couldn't think of a single thing.
Well, we
A
thought of
single
pens.
thing in your business.
We did think, well, maybe like the pen that you use. I mean, I've got a favorite pen, right? That's my go-to pen. Like, there's something about it. I like the thickness of it. I like the way the ink comes out. I like the way it kind of flows on the page. But what if they stop making it? Or what if they did a massive price increase? Do I still love it that much? Or am I going to then have to search for a different type of pen I use? Okay, so we're stretching it with the pen thing. But that's the point we got when it came to, is there actually anything in your business that you can set and forget? And we really don't think there is.
No. And even thinking about, like, the reason why you as a business owner need to have on your business time is because this is a really valuable part of being the CEO of your business, is to actually review and check and make sure that whatever you have set in your business doesn't need to be updated. Like, you've got to keep your business continually being updated.
Yeah. Complacency. Complacency, I think, is the word here. And this isn't just virtual assistant business owners. This is business owners in general. As you grow, as you scale, as you get busier, it's really easy to let these other things go, become complacent. Just think, oh, okay, well, I did that a while ago. It's all going to be good now. I don't have to think about it. I can just get on with, say, in our instance, it would be client work, right? Is there anything good about complacency? Is there anything healthy about complacency, especially in business?
No, you cannot stand still in business, not at all. You know, like, if you think about it, like, when was the last time that you went and reviewed your online presence?
Yeah.
Sam, when was the last time that you went and had a look at some of the templated things in your business that you just send out without even looking at them?
Yeah, nobody go and look on the Virtual Assistant Network of New Zealand's Facebook page and see the date of the pinned post. No one do that. No one.
You should definitely go and do that, and then say to Sam, DM her and be like, why have you not updated your pin post?
Like, oh, don't. Please
Sam
don't.
loves DMs from everyone telling her about mistakes and things that you find. So do that.
It's my favorite DM to open. But it just goes to show, right? And I think when you are complacent, or when you let something go and you don't look at it, you don't review it, you don't go back to it, you don't look at something and go, is this still working for me? Whatever it is, the longer you leave it, the harder it then becomes. Instead of like, oh, I've got to tweak something to make it work for me now, where my business now is compared to where it was 6 months ago. You leave it too long, it's a full-on, complete rewrite, review, start over. And the time and energy that takes is a lot more than if you were to just kind of check in regularly and see if everything's still working.
Yeah, that is a great point. Because imagine the snowball effect, right? You don't review it, it's so big, and then you're like, oh my gosh, if this is not right, this needs an overhaul. It means that the flow on into so many aspects in your business and so much of your online presence and your templates and everything that you have created, that's a massive job. It would be completely daunting, and you'd probably still leave it for far too long.
Oh, well, because as soon as that overwhelm kicks in, Or if you are a chronic procrastinator, hands up here, that would be me. It does just go in the too hard basket because you
Mhm.
literally then don't have time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? Why do
Yeah.
we do it? Why
Yeah.
why do we need to avoid the set and forget mentality? What are the triggers for us to go, "Oh, shit, you know what? I need to go and look at some stuff and review them."
I feel like a direction change. Like maybe you're started out as a virtual assistant, maybe you've evolved now and you're like, actually, I'm going to go in this direction and this is who my ideal client is going to be and these are the services that I'm going to offer. Like that direction change is going to
Yeah.
completely require you to update a whole bunch of things in your business
Yeah.
because that messaging is really different when you are targeting a different ideal client or you have different
Mhm.
services that you're offering.
And I feel like sometimes that direction change can creep up on us. Like for some VA
Mm.
business owners, it's a very intentional, I'm changing direction, I'm pivoting, I'm niching. So then it's not going to be as a bigger surprise as those virtual assistants that have very slowly evolved and all of a sudden you look at your client list and go, "Oh, shit, right, this is who I work for now, and this is who I love working for." Or I've actually stopped saying yes to those types of services, and I really love doing these types of things. So I think it's that slow evolution rather than the intentional direction change that you can go, okay, I've forgotten that I now need to go back and check this, and this.
Oh, if that happened to you, didn't it? With the you started to get lots and lots of sleep
Mm.
consultants, and then that was really what you were specializing in without actually intentionally specializing in websites
Yeah.
for sleep.
I mean, that never became an official niche of mine because I then didn't I just got bored because there's
Yeah,
only so
you're like,
much
how
you
can
can
I
write.
write this differently?
Exactly. And that's not me. As soon as from a creativity point of view, I get bored, then that creativity just like dries up, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, purely by accident, we see a lot of virtual assistants fall into niches that way that they do then want to make official.
Yeah. Okay, the other one that we see, this is a really common one, and we've seen this just recently with a review that we did for a virtual assistant where she had started off as a freelancer and
Mhm.
then had some team members, so client facing team members became an agency. When we looked at her online presence, it still said that she was a freelancer and that she was just
Mhm.
starting out and that it was all like I's and me's.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these types of VA business owners. Like that's in my mind anyway, that's the easy fix. The harder thing is going, okay, right, growing a team, I need to be profitable. So this probably means I need to relook at my pricing. There's a whole heap of systems and processes I need to put in place. Are they robust enough to start bringing on a team?
Mhm.
There's so much more. What else? Oh, the contract, the legal side of things. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Mm.
That contract that I've been using for 5 years really, really well with my clients, it probably isn't going to be robust enough if I've got client facing team members.
Yeah. And you actually have to have headspace, thinking space, and time
Mm.
to be able to go, what do I now need to update now that
Yeah.
I'm growing a team? What do I need to change? Because you're just sending out the same contract. It may not be sufficient
Yeah.
anymore now that you have team members.
Oh, we know it's not going to be. Like we've seen firsthand, it's not
Mm.
going to be. We've talked a lot in the past, Joe, about kind of like accidental virtual assistants, people that accidentally fall into the space. They start working for other people, working from home, and then they go, oh, hey, this is actually called virtual assistants. And oh my goodness, there's
Mm.
a whole community of virtual assistants around me as well. What we haven't spoken about is the accidental agency owners, the ones that all of a sudden they've got a team member. They don't even know how that happened, but they got really, really busy. And then they were having a conversation with somebody they got on really, really well with. And it's like, yeah, you can do some work for me. It's like, oh, okay, but there is a big long list of stuff that you now need to make sure you've got in place.
Yep. Starting with a contract and starting with a contract for your clients that talks about your team member. Yes, big flow on effect. So if you are an accidental agency owner, it's really time that you looked at everything in your business to make sure that it is updated and relevant for where you are in business right now. Because, yeah, I think people try and say, oh, no, I'm not an agency owner. Isn't that when you, I don't know, have X number of team members? Or someone said this to us just recently, right?
I was going to say, we literally had this conversation on a coaching call this week, and the both of us made eye contact on the Zoom, and I just started giggling because it's like, you are in if you're listening, we love you very much. You know who we're talking about you. But it was like, you're in Delulu land. Like, you're just trying to hide from this term agency owner as much as you can, because it's a scary term for some.
Yeah. But if you have a team member doing work for you in any capacity, like, there are things you need to update in your business for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like one of the triggers for actually going and having a look at what's everything in your business is that if you're not getting any no's in your discovery calls or, when potential clients speak to you, if no one's saying no, this has to be a trigger in your business to go and make some changes and go and review things. Why are people not saying no? Like, you might think, this is amazing. No one says no. I'm doing an excellent job in my business. Actually, you're probably pricing too low. So what are you putting out there that's attracting people who say yes when they hear the price? Does your price need to go up? We can't have a set and forget price in your business. I started at $45 an hour back in 2012. Like, if I had kept that going this entire time, set and forget that, I would be losing so much money every single month.
Yeah, I mean, same here. So I launched in 2016 at $45 an hour, and very quickly realized I was not making anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually really feel for the VAs that we speak to who are so proud to share with us that they don't get any no's. Like, this is a badge of honor. This is great. I'm doing really well, like you said. I feel like we're breaking their heart when it's like, actually, when we hear a VA say that, it's actually a bit of a red flag for us. It's not this massive green flag that you think it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that you can convert people and people say yes, but if too many are saying yes, your price is too low.
Yeah.
Okay. The other trigger point, I think, is like, if you're not attracting any leads, there is a whole bunch of reviewing that you need to do, especially with your online presence and your messaging that you're putting out publicly. There is something not right with that, which is causing no one to get in touch with you.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. That now is a perfect time. And you've got the time. You've got the time to look at everything that you've got in place and figure out what's working and what's not. And if you can't do that, it'll take us 5 minutes to be able to do that for you. Like, it's just like boom, boom, boom. Here are the gaps you need to fill. Here's what you need to go back and relook at and redo and tweak. Because it's not easy, but it's often very, very simple. Very, very simple. Yeah. Okay, so those are the reasons why nothing is set and forget. Should we go into a little bit more detail with some of these things now? Where do you want to start? Social media?
I feel like social media, because it's so like, it's the public thing that, most people are spending time on and is likely to be a place that someone, sees your messaging, your content.
Yeah.
So often set and forget too. Like, we see this so much. We constantly tweak ours, constantly updating the cover image, having a look at the profile, making sure that our bio is good. Yeah.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for your cover image, your introduction post or welcome post, your pin posts, I don't know, all of that kind of the basic foundations of a social media online presence, your profile picture. What else? I can't even think right out. But it honestly does not take long for that to go out of date.
Yeah. Something that you create like a year ago and you thought was amazing and looked fab. Yeah. It's really surprising how quickly it's like, yeah, that doesn't look good anymore. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, so okay, so that's interesting. It's not always, I guess if we're concentrating on social media right now, it's not necessarily about how your business has evolved as to why you need to go in and update it and tweak it, but it's also about how design trends evolve, how social media in general, the trends on there evolve, language that's being used. Like we reread something very recently and it was just like, oh my God. Well, actually, there's two things. There was one thing that I read that we wrote a while ago, although not that long. I would say within 3 months. And it was
Yeah.
like, God, we sound like boomers. We sound so old. And then there was something else, another pin post that I read, and it was like, well, ChatGPT obviously helped us a lot with that one. You know, the things that 3 months ago you could get away with in ChatGPT, people onto it and they can go, ChatGPT wrote all of that.
Yep. So your social accounts, when was the last time you updated your pin post, your about, your bio, your cover, your profile image? Because if that's like 3 months ago or more, it's you got to review it. You got to tweak it. And remember when we said the small tweaks that you make are enough right now if you do it regularly, but if you
Mm.
leave it for a long time, this is like a complete overhaul. Okay, next, LinkedIn profile.
You don't consider that social media?
Well, do you know what? I feel like because we
Mm.
talk about it being the first website for virtual assistants, I feel like it's its own thing because it
Yeah.
is quite like a landing page, like a website for
Mm.
someone.
Yeah, that's true. And I guess when we do reviews of VA's online presence, we usually do LinkedIn separately and then we kind of chunk in Meta together, for instance, don't
Mm.
we? Yeah, yeah. Because it is different. It is, I mean, it's technically social media, but it's a different level of social media.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more time that should be spent on a LinkedIn profile because there is the about section, which is, a whole bunch of words. It's
Mm.
substantial. I feel like that needs a lot of care and attention and regular tweaking and updating. Like I'm going to put my hand up and say that mine definitely needs an update. I think I talk about the launch in 30 days as like brand new course and like we're in our second year for that now, so it's been a couple of years.
Still feels brand new, Joe.
But I think the headline, like what is your headline saying about you? Is it the right message? Is it the message that you actually want to be putting out there now? I think the headline should be something that is tweaked often.
Yeah. I mean, how old is that profile pic? Like, be honest. Was it taken 10 years ago at a previous corporate 9 to 5 that you were in? Because it's a professional headshot that you're using.
Yeah. Okay. That leads us nicely into your website, if you have one as a
Mhm.
virtual assistant. Because a website, wow, that can go out of date real fast, right?
Oh, stop it. I feel like you're calling me out.
Yeah, but you're obviously sensitive about something.
This entire episode is triggering. And you know what? If it's triggering for me, I
Mhm.
reckon this is gonna be really triggering and quite overwhelming for a lot of VAs listening right now. They're gonna be going, "No, shit, I've got to work on this now."
Mhm.
Yeah, you do. You really, really do. Yeah, just like social media trends, website trends, it's probably changed a lot since you first DIY'd yours.
Yeah, and the website tools are always updating and bringing out new features to keep up with those modern trends. So,
Mm,
Rocket Spark brings out new features in their website platform constantly. And there's some really cool, slick, modern looking options in there now. Like, when was the
mm.
last time that you went in and started using some of these new features and made those updates?
Yeah. I mean, if you DIY'd your website way back when you first started, there's probably a lot that is out of date for everything. Like if you've grown a team now, are
Hmm.
you still referring to yourself as I's and mine or my instead of we and ours? You might know a lot more about how to convert website visitors to leads in terms of your messaging and how you're getting into the head of your ideal client. You may not have known your ideal client when you first built that website. You may not have had any idea of what you were charging out. You may not have had any packages. You may have been offering everything to everybody and now got a niche. It all needs updating.
Yeah, those stock photos that you used when you DIY'd your website and that one headshot that you had, like, do you actually have some other headshots or some brand photos or better stock photos to be able to update that and make it more modern?
Yeah.
Definitely can't leave those 2020 stock photos on there.
No, and you know what? If SEO is really important to you, if you want to be ranking better than you are currently on Google, SEO alone means you should be doing stuff to your website on a regular basis. Like it needs the new content. So are you blogging on a regular basis? Got a blog, that's got to be a regular thing. There's no point having a blog if the last blog post that you posted on there was 3 years old. God, yeah, I'm triggered. Nobody go and look.
And the other thing too, I think, and this is reminding me, I'm not quite triggered, but this is reminding me that you can't just assume that the links that you put on your website still work. They
Mm-mm.
break. They break so often. You have to be doing a broken links checker regularly to check those links. God knows how they break, but they do.
Our
Things change.
404 error message link was broken.
Yeah. And there's free tools that you can use. Link checker, like
Yeah.
free link checker. Just Google it. There'll be some tools on there. Yeah. I feel like the next one is quite a biggie because I think it's a really important document and something that you want to get through quickly and you know, pull everything together and send it. And this is your proposal template.
I'm going to stop you right there, Jo. Before you get into the nitty-gritty of a proposal template, I know for a fact there is a virtual assistant listening right now who doesn't actually realize what we mean by a proposal template or when it should be sent.
Right. Okay. The proposal template is something that you create that has what you have, a summary of what you have discussed in your discovery call. So you've had the discovery call, you let them know that you're going to send them a proposal, and you send this kind of like as a recap, summarizing what you talked about with your recommendation about what plan or package that they should go on, and a place to have your service agreement and actually sign up with you, right? If you're using some digital tools that enable that. That proposal is the summary. And it's a really good option to template this because there is no way that you want to be creating something from scratch every single time you need to send a proposal to someone. Does that cover it enough, Sam? Is that clear?
I think it's great. Great description. Yeah.
Cool. Now, to streamline this, you'll have different content blocks that you can pop into your proposal template, and depending on what type of client you have talked to and what kind of service you're going to recommend. Now, there is no way that you can keep the same content in that proposal year after year after year, because as we say, like there are so many things that can change, growing the team, change of services, ideal client, all of that kind of stuff, messaging, that needs to flow through into that proposal template. And I do this in my business, and I look at our proposal template and I'm like, oh my God, do we actually say that? That sounds so naff, or, you know, that sounds like a boomer, or that's language that we would have used like, you know, back years ago. This is not how we talk now. This is not how we position ourselves. This doesn't feel premium anymore. I think like as you evolve on your journey, you get more premium, more slick, more, I don't want to say professional, but you know what I mean? Like you're leveling up your business, and your proposal really needs to reflect that.
Yeah. Even the social proof that you've included in that proposal, if you don't currently include social proof, please put that on your to-do list. But that can go out of date really easy too, right? Because when you're first starting out, You may not have much social proof to choose from. You might be very, very limited. So you just chuck on whatever you can, right? And it's not the best, but best, it's done, right? That's something there is better than nothing there at all. You've had a few clients at this point, probably more than a few. And I bet you got some really great nitty-gritty, better social proof feedback back from those clients than those very first ones that you chucked in that template all those years ago.
Yeah, the first ones probably say, "Oh, Sam did such a great job for us. She's lovely. You should hire her."
Sam's so great to work with. Nothing's a problem. She never says no. Oh my God. Get rid of it.
Get rid of that one. Oh, this is your domain, the next one. So you go next.
Too long ago. I'm going to put money on it.
Well, you would know.
Yeah, exactly.
How
I
often is
see.
people updating?
Hardly ever. Hardly ever. We have got virtual assistants over in Vans who have been on the directory, a paid member of Vans since its inception, coming up for 5 years now. And they have never updated, reviewed, asked for anything to be changed. In fact, a good chunk. I'm not just talking 1 or 2. I'm talking a big, 60%.
Do you realize what's going to happen now?
I need to stop talking right now.
Because you're going to have 100 virtual assistants emailing you with updates to the directory listing. So when you do,
I welcome this. Literally, I send comms out saying, please make sure it's up to date. Please please email this email address with your changes. Please, this is the reason why. I do posts in the Facebook group reminding people to please, for your sake. Look, I want you guys to get clients from this fucking directory. And I know what it takes for your directory listings to make a great first impression, to convert its visitors to leads. It's all in your hands. It's not the fucking directory. It's the wording that you're using on there.
Yeah. And if they are updating it and having good messaging, it actually lifts the entire directory, because someone going on having a look is like, oh, wow, these sound amazing.
Yeah.
This is great. I've got lots of choice. I like this. It feels professional. It feels good.
Yeah. Don't blame the directory listing if you're not getting any bites from it. When was the last time you looked at your messaging and at the wording, the language, the tags that you're using? If you're thinking about those tags, are they even relevant anymore? Are you offering those services anymore? Are you talking about who you support really, really specifically? I'm going to stop ranting. I'm ranting now, aren't I?
And it's not just the Vans directory listing too, but what other listings do you have where your business is showing? So you might be a partner, I'm thinking Xero partners, there is a partner directory. When was the last time you went and had a look at what it says?
Yeah. This is, and there's a lot of you. If we go back to those of you that SEO is something that you're working on, we all know that backlinks, being on these types of directories, if you've got a website, it helps with your SEO. So there are lots of virtual assistants that are in multiple directory listings. This is a good thing, right? But you can then forget, where am I? What did I sign up for? Because not all of them are paid. Some of them are free. But a really good way of keeping on top of that is doing a yearly review of them, but having a spreadsheet where you've got links to all of these directories, all the places that you've got a blurb, an introduction, a profile, anything. So you go in once a year and you update them all at the same time. The links are there. You're not going to forget any. Boom. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's a really good process. Okay. Just generally your photos and bio. Having a bio that anytime that maybe you get asked to be a guest speaker somewhere or attend something and they need a bio, having a bio ready to go and always up to date. This is triggering me because I literally yesterday said to Maria, please remind us to update our bios on our website. Having that bio up to date and ready to go is going to have you feel so much more confident putting yourself out there for opportunities and just
Mm.
quickly coming back to someone when they're like, please send me a bio and a headshot, like having some current photos available, regularly having that photo shoot if that's where you are on your journey in your
Mm.
business, having some up-to-date photos. Doesn't it feel so good just being like, yes, we've got all these photos to choose from, like, here you go, here are some options.
Well, we make that a priority, don't we? Because we
Mhm.
know the knock-on effect for having up-to-date photos and a broad range of photos that you can use in all the places. It just makes it easier to show up in all the places. Makes it so easy to be the face of your business. It is one less barrier to entering awards, and I'm not just talking about VA awards, but business awards in general, other types of awards. If it's all there, you're then proud to send your shot in. Like, you're
Mhm.
proud for somebody else to be sharing that headshot of yours.
Yep. So book in that photo shoot if that's where you are at on your journey. Book in that photo shoot. Get those
Mm.
photos, update that bio. So important. So
Or if you've
important.
moved from freelancer to agency,
Mm.
then chances are that it's time for some more team-related photos rather than just
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so important to have your contracts reviewed regularly, dated, making sure that they are relevant for where you are, what stage you're at in your business. Do you have a team or you don't have a team? What your service offering is, the tools that you use, the security measures that you have in place. Like as these things evolve, your contract
Mm.
needs to be kept up to date and reviewed.
Yeah, so important, especially as we mentioned earlier on, that especially during that transition from freelancer to agency owner, there is definitely clauses that you will need that your current contract will not have.
Yeah, it's a major part of one of the lessons in the vault. When we teach you to bring on your team, we have the clauses in there documented, like these are the things that you need to think about. And there's quite a
Yeah.
few of them that you really
Mm,
need to think about having in your contract.
yeah. And as a freelancer, even just growing as a freelancer, like as you kind of evolve from employee to business owner fully, and as you're more aware of your boundaries and you know your worth, your value, that all can really get you can tighten up your contract even more than it is, right? In terms of things that you may not have thought of when you first put together that contract, like the are you allowing hours to be rolled over? Have you got extra fees for things like urgent, last minute, out of hour requests? Like lots of little things like that. Are you charging for travel time, which you may not have even come into the VA space thinking that you were going to be doing on site stuff, but you've very slowly evolved. So, lots of things. Is it still serving you where you are now as a business owner? Probably not if you haven't looked at it in a year.
Yeah. Now, some of you who might be a little more advanced in your journey as a virtual assistant business owner might have some automated email sequences. Maybe as a lead
Mm.
inquires or as a client is onboarded, there may be some email sequences, maybe a lead magnet that someone's downloading from your website. When was the last time that you actually looked at those email sequences? Like, this is something that we need to get better at, right? We have a lot of sequences happening in the background that we did maybe a year ago. Like, are the links all still working? Are what we're saying in there still relevant?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably looking back and cringing again, going, that sounded really cool when we wrote it 3 years ago, but now.
So these email sequences that are going out and doing all this hard work for you, like actually make sure that they are giving off a good impression and also correct and working, like the links are actually not broken
Mm,
and that it's giving off the vibe that you want it to give off now.
yeah. Have you got a freebie on your website that is working from start to finish? I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure we had a VA share with us recently in the mastermind that she didn't know something was broken in her sequence until somebody reached out and said, hey, I requested to, I tried to download this, I tried to sign up, but I haven't got anything whatsoever. And it was literally well, I don't know if it's this easy to fix, but it was like a boom. It was like a click of a button. It was a tweak.
Yeah.
She had no idea because a lot of people wouldn't reach out. They'd just go, oh,
Mm.
okay, nothing's landed in my inbox. I'm just not going to bother. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, then they get distracted by other emails in their inbox and then never think about it again, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've
Yeah, I do that.
got to make sure that you are checking those things.
Yeah. The next one on the list, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Should have had it at the top. When was the last time you listening at home or in the car or on your walk
Cool.
around the block in the afternoon, when was the last time you looked at your prices? When was the last time you put up your prices? When was the last time you really looked at those numbers to see if you're profitable or not?
Yeah, if it's not within the last year, then it is definitely time to do that. And even the service
Mm.
plans, like, are your service plans or your fixed fee packages, are they actually working for you? Like Sam says, are they profitable? Have you actually looked at your numbers
Yeah.
to see whether they are profitable?
Yeah. The VAs we work with, we highly recommend to them that they are looking at this yearly at least.
Mhm.
At least. Definitely a yearly review, a yearly price increase. Like, stuff goes up. Cost of living, inflation, all that lovely stuff that we love to bitch and moan about, right? Once again, this is
Yep.
this is definitely not an area in your business that you can be complacent with. If you
Okay.
have transitioned or are going to transition from a freelancer to an agency owner, like, that
Mhm.
pricing probably, not all the case, but probably just isn't going to cut the mustard anymore.
Okay. Speaking of team, moving into the team, have you actually looked at your induction, the things that you are providing as training to your new team members? Essentially like a internal kind of online course. But when
Mhm.
was the last time that my team actually looked at that online course to make sure that everything we are saying in there, the expectations and how things work at this organization, what they need to be aware of, like, how do we know that that's up to date and that team members are getting inducted in the right way if we're not actually reviewing that regularly and checking to make sure that all the information is up to date? Because stuff changes so quickly. Tools
Mm.
change, new features come out, a new layout. So any induction kind of training video that you've done on the tools, they need to be updated regularly as well as the tools change.
Yeah. I'm going to add something to that. It's not on our list, but it kind of flows in really nicely. Your client manuals. Assuming that everyone has got client manuals, really hoping, especially if you've got a team or about to grow a team, that this is on your radar. Like, once again, that's another, you can't just create them and then forget about them.
No, that's an ongoing task, is keeping that up to date for sure.
How ongoing, like, how frequently should you be checking those, do you think?
Oh, I think that this should be a weekly thing that you've got
Mm.
it open. You, as you're doing work for a client, it's just one of the things that you have there.
Yeah.
And you're constantly looking at it at least weekly to make sure that it is up to date. Because there are new things that you do for clients, there are changes in the way that you do things, there are additional tasks that they will give you, new processes that they will provide you. I think this is a constant update, something you have open all the time.
Yep. Agreed.
And that leads into your own documentation of your own systems and processes in your business. Hopefully you have started that process. Please, please, please know that it is much easier to scale if you start this from the beginning, that you are documenting how you do things in your business right from the very beginning. Scaling becomes so much easier when you do. This is documenting all of your processes. How do you bring on a lead? How do you look after clients? What tools do you use? All the information about how your business operationally runs, like think of it like an operations manual, needs to be documented somewhere.
Especially if you're going to be growing a team or if you're in the process of growing your team. You
Mhm.
can't, right? This is where we see business owners, like the inefficiencies that you can get away with as a freelancer. You can't get away with those inefficiencies due to your lack of systems and processes and documenting them and not having them documented when you have a team. There's no hiding, I reckon. You can't hide when you've got a team, whether it's client or non-client facing team members.
No,
She
I've never
says.
thought about
She
that, but no, you
says, like
can't.
the expert in teams.
I think what I don't want for you listening is that you think you're going to be a freelancer and then you're like, oh, actually, I might grow a team. I'm fully booked. Oh, now I have to try and figure out how I'm going to prepare for my team, and documenting the systems and processes is one of those things. I'm fully booked. How the heck am I going to have time to do this from scratch? If you start early, it's not such a big job to do it at the point where you're actually the most stretched in terms of your time. So start this process
Yeah.
now.
I know we're going a little bit off track here, but it's really, really important. But, as a virtual assistant, you think about the clients that you have started working for that don't have their own systems and processes documented, and you've gone in blind, right? And you don't know what the fuck you're going and doing or how you're supposed to do it. And you feel like you're annoying because you're having to ask a billion questions. And it feels as though that's a failure on your part that you have to ask all these questions. And it just feels hard. And you're questioning whether or not you actually want to work with this client. And the scope that you originally talked about has just blown out of control because all of a sudden now it's your responsibility to start documenting your client systems and processes in order to make everything run more efficiently. Breathe, Sam. Imagine what that's like for your new team members coming on board if you haven't got them documented, or if you've got them documented, but they're not up to date.
Yeah, it's very unsettling for a new team member to come into your organization and to have too much chaos. Yeah. Okay. Tools and apps. These are definitely not set and forget. The tools that we recommend starting out with and launch in 30 days and like the free versions of things is not going to be the tools and systems and apps that you're going to use when you are very established, booked out, or looking to scale. These tools are going to need to evolve and be reviewed and changed over time, maybe going from the free to the paid, but also maybe the tool is not going to be able to keep up with you scaling in your business. So it's going to need to be a completely different tool or new tools introduced into your business to take away some inefficiencies or some manual processes that you're doing.
I feel like this is one of the most confronting things on our list. Like at a first glance, you think tools and apps, that's an easy one to kind of like make sure you're on top of and it's not a set and forget. But you get really comfortable with the tools that you're using and you get really comfortable with the amount you're paying for those tools. So a change in
Yes.
either, right? So whether that's you having to learn something new because it's no longer working for you or something's changed, or if it's getting comfortable with paying for something in an amount that you're not used to, it can just feel
Mhm.
uncomfortable in general. Either way. Well, for me, I can't be the
Yeah.
only one. Is it just me?
No. Yeah, absolutely. Getting comfortable with the free version of something and then suddenly having to pay for it. Yeah, but you need to, as your business evolves, you need to start thinking about which tools are going to be the best paid tools for you because they are worth it. Like, you don't go crazy and just add all the tools and take up all of your profit by,
No.
getting every fancy tool that you come across. But like the ones that are going to help you the most in your business and take away manual time, save you time, or save you money in some way, like those are the tools you need to be looking at.
What tools have you still got that you had at the very beginning back in, what was it, 2011? Are there any?
2012, yeah.
12.
Harvest,
Mhm.
we have stuck with that the entire time, and I have often looked at alternatives because like,
Yeah.
surely a tool that I grabbed 12 years ago, surely that can't be still the best around.
Yeah.
It can't still be the best option, but it really is.
Yeah.
So that's one. Xero we had from the beginning, that we still have that. But other than that,
Mm.
every other tool,
Yeah.
okay, Microsoft 365, that makes sense.
I don't count that. Like, I just
No,
feel like it's it's a no-brainer.
every other tool has changed. There's
Yeah.
no other tool that we've kept that time.
And even Harvest and Xero, if we're gonna use these as our examples, I would imagine you have gone up in different tiers as subscriptions or whatever it is, whatever language that they use. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I started paying for Harvest immediately because there was two of us in the business, and we knew that we wanted to scale. We knew that time tracking was going to be a very key part of what we needed to do and all the reporting and stuff. And then we quickly got clients, so that was a paid from the beginning. But yeah, adding on users, keep adding on users. It
Mm,
keeps getting more and more expensive as you scale, for sure. But yeah, I was thinking
yeah.
about like the communication, the chat tool that we had when we first started has changed and evolved. Like it's a really big deal to tell
Mm,
my team, okay, everyone, we're going to move to a brand new chat tool and task management, and everyone's going to have to learn this and implement this. Like it's a massive overhaul, and it takes a lot of internal time to actually do that. But
mm,
I knew that what we had was just not sufficient. And I was fixing gaps and problems and issues that we were having in the business by introducing a new tool. And I knew that it was going to be worth it in the end. So yeah,
yeah.
you can't sit and forget the tools. You just can't.
As much as we'd love to. As much as we'd love to sit and forget everything that we've talked about in this episode, like, wouldn't that be easy? That would be
Yeah.
lovely. But there's nothing about business that's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's just occurred to me too. You think, oh, but why can't you just teach and launch in 30 days? Like everything that's for a business that can scale. But actually, if we did that, it would be way too much to get your head around at that early stage. It would be overcomplicating everything. It would take way too much time to then actually
Mm,
get all that done before you launched. Business is a journey. You have to go through each stage with the right tools, with just the right amount of things to set up, just the right amount of online presence to move through the stages. You can't skip to this stage over here. You could skip to being an agency, but you're still taking it step by step. You're not skipping to a full on agency and that whole setup
mm,
that they would have. It would just stall your progress too much. So that's why it just
yeah.
occurred to me.
Yeah. And the thing that's just occurred to me listening to you talk about that, because that's so true, Joe. That is so true. Like we literally have conversations with, people going through launch in 30 days, and they are thinking, but one day when I've got, what will I need to be thinking about? But as soon as you have
Mm.
that conversation, it literally stalls their progress, because all of a sudden it becomes this big thing. Like, it's not an easy decision anymore, right? It's not a let's just get going. It's like if you were worried about every single potential outcome of how your business may look in 10 years' time, you'd just go crazy. You'd go absolutely insane. You would never launch. You would never, never, never launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that's occurred to me chatting, Joe, is it this whole conversation has just reinforced that there's no finish date in business. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? There's no kind of point. There's no point where you go,
Destination.
no destination. Yes. When I get to this point in my business, I'm going to be successful. It's going to be easy. I'm going to be able to sit back and relax, and everything's going to be all good. That never, never happens. There's always something. It's continual, which is
Mhm.
why you can't be complacent.
Yeah. It's a journey. Business people say that all the time. Business is a journey that
Mm,
never has that end destination point, right? You are never arriving at the destination. Yeah, that's a really good analogy because it just keeps evolving. Reminders. Have that list of all of the places where you list out, these are all the things that I need to review on a regular basis. These are all my places to go. and have that as an annual review. We really want you to make this as part of your annual business planning, which is very top of mind right now. We're recording this in November, and we're about to do our planning with those in the Scale Up Mastermind for next year. And Sam and I will do ours for our own business. And so I love that we've recorded this episode now, because now I'm like, oh, those things that we need to review, like this is part of our annual business planning that we need to do. So that's exciting. So have it as part of your regular annual planning is our best advice.
Yeah. There is nothing in business that is set and forget. Although, God, we wish there was.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the mastermind and the amazing resources, courses, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.